I got that holy swag. Woo, woo, yeah. I got that holy swag. Yeah, look, I got that holy swag. Whoa, I got that. Hey, reach for greatness, then right up on them and seat the haters. We get recognition, be at the peak of your pinnacle. Never believe you can't get where you wanna be to beat them fakers. There's a blessing God gave you, face it. Life ain't gotta rewind, but a better word for what you want. Don't be complacent. Get on the grind, go and get it when you're given the time. It's all in the mind.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Swag on Point TV, where our swag is lit with God, okay? I had the privilege of meeting Stedman and Jackson. And so, Stedman, we're just going to start our interview. Let's tell the people who you are, where you come from.
My name is Stedman Roebuck. I'm from Jackson, Tennessee. I'm 31 years of age now. Born and raised from Jackson. God allowed me to dive into music, just come from a musical background, you know, of course, through church and different things of that area. Lived throughout Tennessee, just not Jackson, but Jackson, Nashville, Memphis, so Murfreesboro.
How you got your start in music? Where did that come from?
If you're from Jackson, Tennessee, you just know that Dwayne Roebuck was my father. So he was just that piano playing Baptist, one shoe on, one shoe off piano player that sing and does what he does. And my mother was just that soprano for Cynthia Roebuck, and you just knew that she was a singer. But God allowed me to have a very diverse family. My mother and father were not together. But what ended up happening was it allowed me to go here with him, go here with her. So it opened me up to different sounds and, you know, different genres and things of that nature. So that plus my mother plays piano, my grandmother sings opera, plays piano, sister plays drums. But that's pretty much where the background comes from, family, pretty much.
Okay, and so even though our family does certain things, we don't necessarily have to tap into those gifts, but what made you, or what was your spark of, I'm musically talented, I'm an artist, and to be able to walk in that journey?
Well, for me, it was like a decision. My father ended up passing away. So it was almost like I had to, you know, I don't want to say do it for him, but it was like I was already kind of nitpicking with it. So when he passed away, I decided to take it serious. And I was like, you know what? Hey, let's if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it to the best of our ability.
Absolutely. So, who else inspires you musically?
One of my favorite producers. His name is Doobie Powell, but his real name is Hubert Powell. But he was when I was introduced to his music, it literally changed everything for me. It shifted my ear and the things that I heard. So it allowed me to be a little bit more creative than the average. So him and his just style, the way he played with melodies and things like that, it was brilliant to me. And him, another producer named James Yancey, but his production name is Jay Dilla. The way he was more of a sample guy. And if you listen to my album, that's kind of where I get the whole sampling thing from. Just the love from him. He was amazing, amazing. How he flipped music and made it feel, that's what kind of birthed what I consider my style. You know, I just wanted it to feel good more than anything.
It's like your presence on the music scene is different. It's unique. It's inspiring. Like you really inspire a new generation of artists. Where does that, how does that come out? Like, where does all that come from?
A lot of it comes from, one, being diverse. That means just like being a sponge and just being inspired by what you're. When I met my favorite musician one day, my favorite organ player, his name is Derek Jackson. He's everybody's favorite organ player. When I met him, I asked him, I said, tell me something, if you can give me some advice, what would you give me so that I said, what advice could you give me so that you will never have to give me advice again? Because I didn't know at the time if I would ever see him again or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He told me, find out who you like, then find out who they like, and then find out who they like, and then find out who they like, and you'll find yourself in an endless musical gumbo. And what happens is you just become inspired by it, but you don't become it. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily, there's a guy named Mike Burrell, he's a huge inspiration. However, I don't want to be him. I take what I get from him and I make it my own. Plus the care of the people. I care about who's in the audience. And my job is to make you move. My job is to make you interested in what's going on. I always speak on how musicians and singers are escort in church. They're an escort into the presence of God. So I take that very seriously, you know, trying to set the mood, set the atmosphere, so that when the man of God comes up, he can just walk right into the word and it's easy.
You mentioned something about one being diverse and knowing that your audience won't always be the same. And
exactly.
Knowing, you grew up in church, like Christianity is your background, but how do you still appeal to a different audience? How do you stay out of the box?
Just being myself, literally. Like I know this is one thing. The majority of the people that are pastors and preachers were once musicians first. That's in this generation, bishops, whatever. So they understand music. They like music. But at the same time, it's like a fine line that they feel like they have to go with. Me, I have the relationship with them that they trust me. You know what I'm saying? So I might take you there. Kirk Franklin, if you go to a Kirk Franklin concert, Kirk Franklin, you'll hear, and when he does Melodies from Heaven, you're going to hear, I know you hear me on the radio, true. Like, he gonna do something to entertain. Yeah. And I'm more than just what they say you're supposed to be inside the four walls. I'm more than that. Yeah. So that's my stance on that. I stand by being more than just an organ player, just a musician. I really want to gain the world but not lose my soul.
How do you handle mistakes during a performance? Because we know that as a musician, you aren't perfect.
Right.
While we all strive for perfection, but how do you deal with that?
Number one, I'm a human being. That's number one. A lot of the younger guys, they come to me and they say, when I first moved back to Jackson, a lot of the younger guys that I ended up playing with, they were like nervous to play with me because they heard how strict I was and this. And by the time we get through playing, I'm telling them like, hey, loosen up. This has to end. Like, we'll be playing for like 17 minutes and it'll be over with. We'll be on our way home, like, relax. So I had to become comfortable with myself first. And then I started, that's where professionalism comes in at. Number one, you try to prepare so you don't make mistakes. But if it does occur, it's all about how you handle it. So what I do is I try to think quick on my feet. You have to be quick on your feet, I used to travel with this gospel artist, Miranda Curtis, and she was very strict, like super strict. But it taught me a lot. My first time playing with her, I was, you know how young musicians are. They playing, they try to set their phones up or whatever, yada, yada, yada. I don't mind being transparent.
Please
and
do.
I was setting my phone. Yeah. So I'm setting my phone up or whatever. And when it's over with, she comes, when we go to the back, she's like, at the beginning part, what were you doing? I could tell both of your hands weren't on the piano. And I was like, gotcha, So that's just taking everything, being able to take an open rebuke, being able to take it, being able to not be so sensitive. And if you do mess up, understand that, okay, there's always next time.
There's always next time.
You just got to make sure you bounce back from it.
And that's where a lot of people don't. Part of our topic is God's gift and utilizing your God-given talents. And
Yeah.
many people sleep on those gifts and those talents because of mistakes. And I messed up one time, and if somebody like Miranda Curtis told me that, you know, I did something that I wasn't supposed to do, now I'm
they respect you more when you know how to take it and come back from it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could give anybody advice on that situation, like, people mess up, musicians mess up.
Mm-hmm.
Some of your favorite musicians are still messing up.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know it because they've mastered the bounce back.
Yeah.
They've mastered the comeback.
Write that down.
Yeah.
The comeback.
Okay. Master the comeback.
You have to, and you have to be able to do that in order to walk in your God-given talents and truths. And like you said, having a level of transparency, like all of those things tie into your next level and elevating. And you have to be able to bounce. You got to bounce back, okay? I agree with that. But what advice right now would you just give somebody that feels like, you know, even with the gifts that I have, I'm stuck? So how do I move forward? How do I come back from that?
You gotta study. You gotta study to show yourself approved. It's not gonna come easy. Like, even like, people consider me a creative. That's cool. I love it. But even as a creative, I still have writer's block. I still have like that creative block. So what you do is, lately I've been asking myself, am I really that into music? Because I can go days without listening to music, months without recording music. So I have to, in order to get out of it, I have to do what I need to do to get back where I need to be. So that means I got to put the work in. I got to go look, go search, go read. You have to dive into something that's going to make you, open back up to the person that you are. And it's like, when that light bulb goes off, it's like, oh man, something fresh, something new. Now you back. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So keep searching for something fresh. Keep searching for something new. Keep searching to be inspired. Keep being innovative. Don't ever sit down on your gift, because he'll take it from you. Quick.
Real quick. And
Yeah.
people to know that you are gifted. You are talented. Like, God didn't create us for nothing. I believe in purpose. I believe in us all having something divine that God put us here to do. And so that's why it was imperative that we talked about Stedman Roebuck and his birthday, because you are literally like the epitome of holy swag, okay? Your swag is lit. Your swag is lit. Listen, guys, we got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back to talk more with Stedman about his music and how he continues to press on. So stay tuned.
Love to Worship Radio is more music than talking and has something for everyone. This station is available 24/7 on Love to Worship Radio, where you can hear independent artists and more. That's Love to Worship Radio. You can download the app on Google Play, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, or visit our website at www.lovetoworshipradio.com and tune in.
Well, thank you for being back with us, Stedman. So I want to talk to you about your music and your journey. For starters, let's talk about the story behind your song, America. Where did the inspiration for that come from? How did you get there? How did you get there? Let's talk about it.
Okay, so the album is entitled Oprah. Of course, it's just a whole lot of wordplay, based off the fact that Stedman, my name is Stedman, Oprah dealing with Stedman, but for years. And I can't talk about America without explaining where it is on the album, because every song is placed where it's placed for a reason. So America just fell into place because the whole album is really about one, Oprah represents a glass ceiling. That's really what it is. It's a glass ceiling, you know. Oprah is basically something to bypass as a man. And on the album, I have a spoof. I have a lot of different phone conversations, and it's like trying to encourage you, but yet things are still happening. Like I have a friend in Memphis, and he's on the album, and he's in a situation to where his friend, a black man, you know, his partner, his homeboy, set him up, shot him. He was shot so many times. They shot his car up, and he had to take a life in order to live. And in the phone conversation, he says, you know, the person that was supposed to be my friend, you know, he shot me off the balcony. And it's almost like, then the next song is called, and that song is entitled Sold Not Told. Everybody knows Game. Game is sold, not told. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to give it to you for free. But it's like, this is where we live. We live in America where, you know, yeah, police are killing black men, but black men are still killing black men. For what? So I'm at a place where I understand that we can't change the person unless we change the environment around the person. That's where I am in life. So America is just basically, in that song, it's a sample of the Whitney Houston's version of the Star Spangled Banner. And the sample is Whitney, and she's singing all the rap parts we watch. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just took it and I was inspired because of where I was. You know, I wanted the album I didn't want to just throw a couple of tracks together. I wanted it to speak to somebody. I really wanted even if it was an instrumental, I wanted it to be vital. Everything played a part. So America is just basically like look at all this. It's like my step back. It's like I'm a grandparent now. Put myself as being a grandparent, and I sit back and it's like, you know, like this is where we are, America.
This is where you are. And when I listened to it, it was, you know, right before all the recent events that have happened and taken place, before the protesting and everything, and a tear slick fell. Because as I'm listening to it and I'm watching the video, it put me in a place of, like you said, this is America. Like,
right. It's real.
It's so real. So real. And as, not to be completely political or anything, but as African Americans, as Black people watching, like you said, it's one thing for police brutality to still be taking place, but it's another thing for us to still be our own, setting our own up.
Yeah, not even seeing the bigger picture over something minute, you know, is cash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's disheartening, and it's just sad because, you know, I care. I really care. You know, I remember getting the phone call that he was shot. So, and, you know, it's just like, it just didn't have to happen.
Yeah.
But to see the person that he's grown into from it, he has a lot of influence. He's using it for the right thing. So I understand we got to go through to get to, but some things we can avoid.
Absolutely. Well, I just want you to know the song, the album, Oprah, it's inspiring. And I know most of it is kind of like musical interludes as well, but it's still just something about being able to hear those soulful sounds that really kind of put me, honestly, in a place of peace. So I personally thank you for it. I got it downloaded. I don't know about y'all, but you need to figure out how to get that, okay?
Hey,
we're going to drop the link to that. Don't y'all worry.
Bandcamp, SoundCloud.
How has your journey as an artist impacted your spirituality?
Man, it's opened me up all the way. Like, now I find myself like, because first of all, doing the album for me, I'm lazy. I'm lazy. So doing the album for me, that's just me being honest. Doing the album for me was to prove to myself that I could complete a task. So I did that, and in doing that, it just took me to another place in my own mental. So I just started. I was like, wow, I really could do it. So that took me to a place where I started talking to God more, because I wanted whatever else He has left for me creative wise. I wanted. So I'm talking to Him more. I'm praying more. Just cherishing each moment. Like I'm so mindful. I'm so open minded that, you know, if I'm gonna use my voice and if I'm gonna use my influence, I'm gonna use it for good. So it's helping just because of my spiritual upbringing, plus being able to create it. So now it's like, oh wow, I can use God to give me ideas. That, like, He gave me an idea such as, you know, taking phone conversations. Yeah, it's been done before, but not in this manner. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, cool. Like, different people come up to me and say, wow, you know, this touched me. So it just makes me keep seeking Him more, so that I can keep delivering every time. And so it's helped. And now, even as that, you know, me being somewhat of an influence or whatever, it gives me the courage to even involve my family. You know, it's like, hey, I gotta lead. Somebody gotta lead. So now I'm saying, hey, we gotta do this. We gotta pray about this. We gotta do that. And that's what's needed. You know what I'm saying? So it's helped a lot. It's helped a whole lot.
How do you stay connected to God?
When the preacher really preaches, I really listen. Like, I'm able to do a lot. You know, I can look over here, look over there at the same time. So I'm just aware. So at this point, you know, it seemed like musicians don't be paying attention. I don't know about everybody else, but I really listen. You know what I'm saying? The good old Bible app. You know, I wake up early in the morning. I come sit in my little whatever this is.
Like your feng shui.
Studio,
It's nice.
You know, my little studio situation. I come sit, and sometimes I just don't say anything. I just come sit, and, you know, He'll just talk to me, and He'll just, if you quiet out the noise, He'll talk to you. For real.
That.
And,
I had to look up to the Lord. Did y'all hear that? When you quiet, say that again, Stedman.
When you quiet out all the noise, man, when you cut it out, when you just take some time for yourself, man, you will get answers that you've been looking for forever. So I'm 31, so I'm at a different place in life right now. So it's all about evolving. You feel me? So that's where I am with it. I take my time. I sit back. I ain't into burning sage and all that stuff. So I sit back and I just chill. You know, what holy swag. I just sit back.
Listen, because that's what it's about.
You feel me? So I sit back and let it come to me instead of just trying to, you know.
Yeah. And it's kind of, despite being 31, you know, some people look at that as like, oh, I'm still too young to embrace that kind of relationship or journey with God. But at some point, despite where my parents were, who they were, despite anything, the church,
you gotta do it for yourself.
You have to do it for yourself. And that took a while to get to, because I came from a place where once I was worried about what other people thought about me.
Yeah, me too.
I was worried about that. You know, how did you deal with that, honestly? Like, you quiet. You quiet yourself.
Man, okay, so not having a father figure, I looked for father figures. And I just found a few people who were just super, super confident. I ended up stumbling on people who stood on honor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They stood on honor. So there's certain things that you couldn't even pay them to do. So when you get to a place where you have pride and honor, you hold your head up, you stick your chest out, you hold it up, and you stand tall, no matter whatever it is. You feel me? Like, no matter who, what, how many, you just stand up. For real. That's really how you get through it. You just hold your head up.
Literally.
You cry in secret. cry by yourself. But when you walk out amongst the people, you let them see you.
So how do you balance being a musician, being a parent, being a mate, being all that you are? How do you find your balance every day?
First, I didn't know how. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm lame. I'm so lame.
You're
I'm
not
just
that
being
lame.
honest. Nah, I'll be honest. I'm lame. So it's like with my kids, my sons, my boys, and all of them, when they come in town, I do the most stupidest thing. I do the most ignorant things just to make them laugh.
Mhm.
Sometimes I tell my girl, like, hey, let's just go to the track. Let's go run it.
Mhm.
You know, and it creates conversation. So I'm aware of conversation being how you get to the center of trust, you know, things of that nature. So me being a creative, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just create a scenario where we can get to a better place. Even with my kids, you know, my mother, whoever, you know, I'm like, you know what? Let me start a conversation. They might think that I'm just blurting it out, but in my mind, what I'm doing is fighting for us to get closer.
Stedman, I appreciate you, dear, so very much. Please let the people know where they can find you.
Facebook, Stedman Roebuck, STE. Well, you got it on there. It's down there. Instagram at Rock1Steady. Steady is STEDE. My music, my album, is on Bandcamp. I went there first because my favorite producer went there. So Bandcamp is on SoundCloud as well. Go get Oprah. I'm working on my second one now. We're working with the Hub City Mass Choir in Jackson, Tennessee. We trying to do a lot of things to bring a lot of unity. So that's my goal. My job, I feel like, is to unify, use my influence to bring people together. So that's what I'm gonna continue to do. I feel like that's what you should continue to do. And thank you for allowing me on this awesome platform. You're holding it down, man. We need
Thank you. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Listen, guys, make sure you follow Stedman. Make sure you go get his album. If you're listening right now, you have been able to like see what it looks like. So make sure you go and support just another gifted Black man in America. Okay, in America. Why? Because we need that. We need that. So just know, Black man, I love you. I appreciate you. Swag on Point TV, everybody. We out.
God got me, he been watching my back and I'm letting them know it's a fact that I got that holy swag. Counting my blessings, giving me speed and they giving me strength and they giving me power to fight through the rain. And I'm thanking the Lord for the gift that he gave me. This is a lifestyle, I would never let nobody play me out. Even like no other really, they be wild. And I'ma let the blessings rain down, that's holy swag. Yeah, got that holy swag. Whoa, whoa, I got that holy swag. Yeah, I got that holy swag.